Now that you have your loom put together, let's learn how to weave. You should have gathered some weaving materials, yarns and colors that you love. They can be textured, fuzzy, they can be plain, just anything that you think might reflect what you would like to weave into your story cloth. So once you've gathered those, you're going to take the first yarn or ribbon that you're gonna begin with, and we're gonna attach it to this first straw on the edge. And I'm gonna set these other four straws down just so I can show you. This is the only time that you would ever use a knot in your weaving. And I'm just going to loop this through in a sort of a half knot. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just pulling it. I just want you to be able to feel comfortable learning so it's attached onto the straw. All right. So now we're going to put our straws back into our hand. It's a little bit like holding cards. You're going to spread them out just a little bit so there's a little space between them like that. The warp is hanging down. And right from the get-go, I'm gonna show you that these beads that are keeping the warp in, there's nothing holding them there but the string. So if you can put a little tension on this string by either tucking the warp under your leg or under your foot as you're weaving, something that holds them down, that helps to not let those get in the way. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to weave, and I'm going to first show you without any words. All right, so you see what we're doing? We're just weaving in and out. So now I'm going around the end straw, I'm coming to the front, I'm going to the back, going to the front, I'm going to the back, I go around the end straw. So we're weaving back and forth from right to left and from left to right. And I actually use a little bit of an up and down motion. I am going, in and out is also another way to think about it. But for me, to just keep the yarn on the straws, I like to think of coming, forward towards myself and kind of down, away from myself and down, so that I'm kind of pressing onto the part that's already woven, and that helps keep it in place. All right, so there you see I have 4 rows, and I'm just going to keep on going back and forth like this. And once you get just a couple of rows woven, then your straws will be held together. You don't have to pull tight. You can just actually be very, very loose about this. And you can see that the fabric is beginning to accrue on the straws like this. Oh no, here, so see that tail got caught? That's one of the things when you're first learning, you have to figure out how to hold everything. So that the tail doesn't get in the way like that. And one of the things that most people figure out on their own, and I'm just going to tell you, is that you can use this finger as kind of a guide, so that I move my finger along so that each time I put the yarn in place, my finger kind of holds it down like that. All right? Okay, so what you're seeing from that side is the same thing I'm seeing from this side. It's a warp-faced weave. And that's basically it. You're going to be doing this for all 35 inches. Okay, so that's how you get started. Now, what happens when you want to change colors? When you want to change colors, you're going to cut the yarn that you're using and leave about a 2 to 3 inch tail. Then the next yarn that you want to use, you're going to take this little tail and you're going to begin on the other side of your weaving. So here's the tail. This is where I ended over here. This is where I'm going to start. So do you sort of see how there's a tail on either side like this? This is what we're going to do is we're going to overlap. So my tail's over here now, and I'm going to follow the map to overlap. So I'm going to weave one row that's exactly like the red row, the green row now, the first one is exactly the same as the red row below. And the reason that we do that is because in weaving, the way to change color or add another strand is to simply overlap the threads. So I'm going to put my weaving down and just remind you what that is again. You overlap, you can see that there's an end on either side, and then you follow the map to overlap. All right, so then you continue with that color. And you can change colors as often as you would like. So you're going to be building this cloth to reflect your story. You can use one color if you wanted to, or you can change colors often. And you'll see in the gallery, you'll see pictures of many, many different configurations of colors. Great. The other thing I wanted to, so you're going to just continue doing that until your cloth gets to the end. I want to show you what that looks like. When you begin, you start filling up the straws. Eventually, the fabric is going to fall off onto the string, which is where it belongs because that's where the cloth is. And when this is your first time doing it, it looks a little funny. So you'll see some little separations. You'll see that it looks, one way on the straws, and then it starts to look a little different on the bottom. Don't worry about a thing. It's all fine. It's not going to fall apart. Where you've joined the two colors, you're going to have two little strands of color sticking out on either side here. There's the other one, there's it is. Just leave those at the end. You can trim them off, but for right now, just let them dangle off the sides and continue weaving. And you're just gonna keep on weaving until you fill your warp. It's gonna be approximately 35 inches long. And in video 3, I'll show you how to finish it and what to do next.